Mm-mm. Mm-mm. All right, let's see if we are live yet. Yes, looks like we are live. We'll take a listen. All right, let's see if we are live. Sounds good. Yes, looks like we are live. We'll turn the volume down and let's see. I think we've gotten started with our live stream. This is Pastor G. Go wait just a few minutes for others to join in the live stream. As I promised, I was going to be on today between, let's see, Eastern Standard Time. I was going between 4, 5 o'clock or so. I think it's a little after 5. But that's only because I'm in Las Vegas, number one. And number two, it was extremely difficult to find a place to record during this time. So it took me a minute, but I finally found a place to record. So I'm inviting as many people as can. Let's see. We've got John Posey is on. Thomas Staples, what's going on? He is in the building. He says it's sounding good. And I want y'all to share this with as many people as you can, especially if you know someone who is desiring to do more with their live streams, their webinars, their YouTube videos, their Zoom meetings, if they've got Blue Jeans, if they've got WebEx, if they're doing online conferences, whatever it is that they're doing, if they want to look better, they want to do better with their virtual technology, if they want to do a conference, all that kind of good stuff, share this video link with them. Share it with them right now. Go ahead and share it. We're going to be on for just a few minutes. Again, I am in Las Vegas, so what that means is that I'm trying to have a good time out here as well. Even though I know it's sunny out here in Las Vegas, maybe not so on the East Coast. If you're in the house, please share this video with somebody. Let them know Pastor G is on. And y'all got to know, man, I am on. Who is this? Let me show that. I am on and I am giving up the goods. All right. When it comes to online, virtual, whatever, I don't care if it's a class. I don't care if it's a Bible study. I don't care if it's a webinar, if it's a video podcast. I don't care if you're using StreamYard, Ecamm, Restream, whatever it is that you're using. You can always learn something new by hooking up with some folk who do this stuff all the time. And some of y'all know, Gert Enterprises, Pastor G, I've been doing this virtual thing for almost 3 decades now. It's been a long time. We've been doing from postage stamps all the way up to what we're doing today. So make sure you share this video. Share. I see we got about 6 people on. We're going to wait just a little bit longer. Continue to share the video. Make sure you share this with somebody who really needs to upgrade their presence. They really need to upgrade the quality. They really need to upgrade what it is that they're doing. Share this with them. It may not be the pastor of the church. It might be somebody that runs the tech team at the church. It might be one of the children of the pastor. It may not be the vice president of academic affairs. It may be some instructors who have to teach and they're using Canvas or they're using Moodle and or somebody wants to do an online course and they want to do a better job. I want you to share this video with them right now. Let me see. Who is this? What's going on? I see y'all coming in. Brother Eric Isignares. I think you down there in Nashville, Tennessee. God bless you, man. Thanks for joining us. Lisa Sampson Hill. God bless you. Good to see you on. Thomas, let us know where you from. I really want to know. Thomas is in. He's my resident expert, all things tech. Thomas Staples, the man, getting ready to get married out there on the East Coast. Put it in there and let us know where you are, Brother Thomas. It's good to see you all on right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So here's the deal. What we endeavor to do with these Q&As, some people call them Ask Us Anything. It doesn't really matter what you call it. The point is that if you have any questions with regard how to engage with your audience, how to engage in the virtual space, how to upgrade your technology, I want to be here to help you answer those questions. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to post inside the chat. And I got a chat over here to my left. So y'all going to keep seeing me look over here. I ain't ashamed to look over here because this is where all of my chats are coming in. So okay, Thomas Staples, you say you're in New York. All right, he's in Harlem, New York. That helps me out. So we got Nashville, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Indiana, Harlem, New York. And I know some more folk are going to be coming on from different places around the country. Nevertheless, my whole point here is that this gives you an opportunity without having to call me and say, hey man, how much it costs for consultation for you to help me or help my company, help my job, help my nonprofit, help my school. Instead of you having to pay a consultant to come in to answer some basic questions, all you got to do is drop a question into the chat and we will do the best we can to answer your questions. If we don't know, we'll figure it out. We typically have some great, innovative, and creative people in the chat with us doing this who can also help you with some of the answers to your questions. Now, anybody that's got to see Oscar Smith, let me see. Oh man, I really appreciate you for that, brother Oscar. I really appreciate you for that. Thank you, man. I owe you a check for saying that online. God bless you. But anyway, brother Oscar, again, you too. You got a question? Let me know. In the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about. I'm getting ready to do a workshop, y'all. I'm getting ready to do a workshop for learning and online technology. Many of you all know that as the pandemic ensued, and again, keep sharing. Make sure anybody that you know, keep sharing so they can get on. Nevertheless, all of us know that when the pandemic hit, by and large, it shifted everybody into this space where you had to go online, whether it was Teams. Some people did it in Google Meet. Some people did stuff in Zoom in order to continue to teach their classes. People were like really inundated with this whole idea of how am I going to continue to teach my courses when we are facing a global pandemic. Well, here's the thing. The Wall Street Journal, and I'll say this again in a little bit, but I'm going to say it for now. The Wall Street Journal put out an article, and in the article, the Wall Street Journal said that the headline read something like this: the verdict is out on online learning. It failed. All right, that's what the article said. The verdict is out in online learning. It failed. And I'm paraphrasing there. That's not the perfect, but if you want to look up the article, you can look it up. It was in the Wall Street Journal sometime last year. And so one of the things, obviously, as somebody who gets into technology, let me get out of this. When it comes to technology, one of the things that I do is I try to advocate for not only technology, but I also advocate for technique. All right. So let the church say technique. So here's my deal. My deal is that technology is just what it is. But if you apply the wrong technique to innovative technology, one might think that something's wrong with the technology when it wasn't the technology all along. It was the approach that you had towards the technology. In other words, it was your technique. It was the information, it was the understanding that you brought to the technology that ultimately gave the end result. And so, yes, I kind of question the headline that suggested that online learning failed because of the outcome of online learning, when, in my view, it wasn't the tool that was the problem. What the problem was the technique that was applied to the tool that made it a problem. Here's what I mean by that. Back in 1910, 1915, 1920, there was a major shift in a particular technology called the cinema camera. When the cinema camera came out, I want you to know that if you watched a movie that was produced in 1910, 1915, 1920, one of the things that you'll see is that they did not apply any new techniques to the new technology. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? So what does that mean? All they really did was take a camera and aim it at the theater stage. All they did was take a camera and they aimed it at whatever was in front of the audience. Well, just by doing that, you're not engaging with anybody. All you're doing is taking what's on the stage and transmitting that to the audience in hopes that they will get the exact same thing that the people sitting in the seats are going to get. Well, let me help you with that. If the Wall Street Journal had been around in 1910, 1915, they probably would have said the same thing. The verdict is out on the cinema camera. It has failed. And all of us know that the cinema technology has not failed. Why? Because there are multi-million dollars, if not billion-dollar blockbuster movies that are coming out today. What's the difference between those movies today and the cinema camera technology that came out in the early 1900s? The only difference is that today we are applying new techniques to the innovative technologies. So what do I want to say to you today? I want to help you all understand that if you know the right techniques, if you understand the right approach, if you have an understanding of how those who need to learn, those who need to be engaged are engaged, those who need to be catered to are catered to, communicated with, if you understand that, then you can apply a different technique to the technology to make the technology more successful, even in the classroom. I'm hoping y'all hear what I'm saying. Why? Because you can apply, and I'm gonna double check, make sure ain't no questions coming in. Let me double check. All right, make sure if y'all got any questions, y'all go throw them in the chat because I'm watching it right here. So, what I just described as it relates to online learning, what I just described as relates to what y'all been dealing with when your kids had to go and go and do their classes online, and you had a lot of schools doing what was called high flex, right? You had a lot of churches that went and they had to turn cameras on the preach moment and on the church and on the choir and on the singers and Bible study and all that. That same technique that I just described is the same technique that's required in order to be successful in every area that has to use this technology, okay? In every area that has to use this technology. So my point there is that there are a lot of people who employed new innovative technology that was coming of age, and the truth is that in their view, the technology failed. The technology did not do for them what they wanted it to do. And what I want to argue today, maybe it wasn't the technology, maybe it was your technique. All right? And so I see somebody from Indianapolis. Guess who's in from Indianapolis, y'all? Guess who this is? This is my mother. Everybody say hello to Ann Robb. She's joined in from Indianapolis. God bless you for joining in with us on today. So let's talk a little bit about technique while we wait on some questions to come through. Here's the first thing I want to tell everybody who's watching this, and that is, number one, you don't have to spend tons of money in order to look good when you're doing your virtual events, your virtual seminars, your webinars, your Zoom meetings, whatever it is that you're using. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Now, I'm using a camera that's fairly expensive. Not only is the camera expensive, the lens is expensive. But you don't have to spend this kind of money in order to look good on your Zooms, on your Blue Jeans, on your Skype meetings, on whatever it is that you're doing, Google Meets. You don't have to spend that kind of money, all right? Number one, whatever you're using, here's the first thing I want to get across to you. Make sure that you have good lighting, all right? Let the church say good lighting, right? And here's what we typically say. Bad lighting can make even the most expensive cameras look cheap. And good lighting can make a cheap camera look expensive. Somebody needs to put that in the chat box right there, because I think that helps somebody out. If you have good lighting, it doesn't matter how inexpensive your camera is or your technology is, you can use something as simple as an iPhone and make this iPhone look like it is a very expensive piece. But now again, we're talking about a different approach, a different technique to the technology. Just having a phone don't mean nothing if you're using that phone and you're in the dark. Just having a phone doesn't mean anything if you're using that phone and the light source, like the sun or a big window, is behind you, and all that's doing is darkening up everything in front of it. Some of y'all are trying to figure out, why does my video look so bad? Oftentimes your video looks bad not because of your technology, it's your technique. Right? You've got the camera set up in a way that the light is not working for you. The light is actually working against you. So the first thing I'm going to say is that even if all you got is a phone, even if all you got is a very simple technology, maybe you got a Canon R500. That's a $250 camera. That's not worth a whole lot of anything. It's a very inexpensive camera. But if that's all you have, you can make that camera look almost as good as this camera and this lens, provided you bring the right technique. You use the right lighting, okay? Now I see Devin, Apostle Holyfield is on here. God bless you. I see you. Yeah, you got it. You're putting that in the chat. Y'all can tweet that out, do whatever you want to do. You've got to apply the technique of good lighting. Now, I talked about this a little bit last week. I don't have all my toys and all my goodies with me while I'm here in Las Vegas. But I did talk to you all about 3-point lighting. If you can, the most optimal way to ensure that you have a decent picture, no matter what camera you are using, is to apply 3-point lighting. What is 3-point lighting, Pastor G? Well, here it is. Three-point lighting is a key light, and that's a light that might be to the front and over maybe 30 degrees or so, not 45, but about 30 degrees from the subject. You follow? A light in this direction. That's your key light. The second light you want to have is typically called a fill light. Obviously, when you put up a key light, that's going to illuminate this side of your face, but it's going to leave shadows on this side, under your nose, like me right now. Clearly, I don't have three-point lighting because you see a shadow underneath my hat. That's what a fill light is supposed to do. The key light illuminates your subject. The fill light illuminates the shadows, and that gives you a decent, what we call, that gives you a decent, shoot, I can't think of the name of it right now, but Thomas Staples will put that into that box. It's going to give you a decent look because you don't have as many shadows. You do have a key light, and here's the third light that I recommend, and that is, if you can, apply a third light called the backlight. What is the backlight? The backlight is typically behind you, up high, and over to the right or over to the left, so that it is out of the shot. Why do you have a backlight? A backlight is important because what it does is it puts a rim of light over your hair and your shoulders so that it can separate you from the background that you're on. So if you have a backdrop, that's a brick backdrop, a wood backdrop, an office backdrop, whatever that is, in wherever it is that you're shooting, if you have that backdrop, by applying that backlight, that allows you to separate yourself from the background. So, number one, key light. Number two, fill light for the shadows. And number three, backlight, and that separates you from the background. Now, that is applying good technique to your technology. No matter whether your technology is an expensive tool like what I have, or if you have a cheaper technology, might be your cell phone, might be an R500, something like that, which is not that expensive yet. If you apply the right technique, it will make your tool look expensive, even if you really didn't spend no money on your technology. Y'all hear what I'm saying? All right, these are easy things you can do. Now, here's the other thing. As you know, and I'm still watching. Everybody say hello to my mama. Y'all say hello to Ann Rob. Say hi from Indianapolis. All right, God bless you. Let's see. Elliot Destiny, how high should the backlight be? Okay, the backlight needs to be high enough to ensure that the light is coming down on your head and not hitting the back of your head. It means nothing if it's hitting the back of your head. It needs to hit the rim of your head. So you could imagine if you can get the light up maybe 2 feet above the subject, right? An additional 2 feet, at least an additional 2 feet from the subject, you should be okay. Okay? I hope I answered your question. All right? At least 2 feet above. All right? You can go more, but here's the deal. In order to achieve a backlight, you have to have a stand or something, or a clamp that can clamp on in some way to get that light up there. That's why I was saying when I talked about the lighting situation, when it comes to three-point lighting, it is not always, you're not always in an optimal environment to achieve three-point lighting. And I'm getting ready to tell you in a second, if you ain't got the money to spend $130 per light for three-point lighting, or to buy a bag of lights, which typically has 3 lights in the bag. You can buy that on Amazon, B&H, Adorama. You can buy a light kit. If you don't have the money for that, I'm going to tell you in just a few seconds how you can still achieve decent lighting even though you don't have three-point lighting. All right, it's going to blow your mind here in a minute. Okay, so number one key, number 2 fill, number 3 back. Make sure that light is up according to the question that came in, at least 2-3 feet above the subject, so that you get that light, that rim light over the hairline and the shoulders to separate you from the background. Now, somebody's going to say, ain't nobody asked. I guess you said, let's see, Brother Stubblefield, God bless you, man. Thanks. So you said I did help answer that question. Remember, I'm here to answer as many questions as y'all got. So y'all better throw them out. This is for free, okay? This is for free. So if you need something, throw it in the chat box, and I will pick it up right here on my computer. All right, here's the next thing. Come on through. It's all good. Come on through. All right, here's the next thing. Somebody's gonna say, well, Pastor G, my camera's $200, right? I'm not in a space. I'm not in a space in my life, in my career. My company's not buying equipment. My church is on a tight budget, right? I don't have it like that for three-point lighting. How do I achieve decent lighting even though I don't have a budget to go out and just spend all kind of money? Ain't nobody asking me that, but I know somebody wants to know that. Here's the deal. You got to use what you got, people, okay? And I will always say, and Brother Staples will attest, the number one light source that you have when you ain't got no budget, you low budget or no budget, is the sun. I let the church say sun. Oh my God. What do you mean? Like, yeah, if you don't have a light, if you don't have a key, a field, or a backlight, you don't have all that, and you have a camera set up, whether it's a phone or R500, whatever it is you got, and you still want to look halfway decent, the cheapest lighting source that you got access to is the one that comes up every day, called the SUN. And so what does that mean? That means that so long as you position your camera where the sun is in front of you, are y'all hearing me? As long as the sun is in front of you, that could be a picture window, that could be a window with a shade, that could be a reflector from the sun shining up at you. It doesn't matter. As long as that sunlight is in front of you and is illuminating you, that can still give you what you're looking for, even though you don't have the budget to go buy a key light or fill light. Now, I already told y'all, here's the deal. It's not about the tool. It's about the technique that you bring to the tool. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Okay? So, just because the sun is in front of you doesn't mean that you have to face at parallel to the window. You can angle yourself 30 degrees and allow that light to still hit you like a key light, right? And give you more, and the word I was looking for earlier is depth. Right? Shadows are not necessarily a bad thing, provided you are looking for depth. What does depth do? Depth allows you to look at an image and be able to see the three dimensions that exist. You're getting depth of field, shallow depth of field right now. What does that mean? That means you see me in focus and you see everything behind me out of focus. That gives you a sense through shallow depth of field that I am a far distance away from the background. Now, my lens is doing most of that work, but our eyes are so sophisticated that they look for those cues. And one of the easiest cues that you can give to determine depth of field is shadows. Are y'all hearing me? Okay. Y'all trying to call me? Don't call me, y'all. Just put the message in the chat box. Do not call me. Put the message in the chat box and I'll answer your question. All right. Nevertheless, let's keep moving. Remember, share this with anybody that you know. Share this with somebody that needs this information, somebody that needs to do a better job on their live streams. I'm giving this information up for free. All right. Here's the other deal with the sun. And Thomas Staples is also adding some great information, even as we talk about this. Angela Shine, I think Angela's in Mississippi or something like that. God bless you. Good to have you on today, all the way from Mississippi. All right, Thomas Staples, dope. I got the Yeti Nano also for audio. Man, you did a great job with that Nano. Here's my deal on that, Apostle Holyfield. You know, I got the blue, the big blue. I got the big dog, all right? But I also got the Nano, and the Nano works for me just as well as the big one. So let me hit that real quick, because a lot of people look at the things that we do and they look at the technology that we have and they think that they got to have what I have in order to do what they need to do. And what I'm trying to help y'all understand is that you do not have to break the bank in order to get it done. And so I praise God for Apostle Holyfield. You're basically walking that walk, and that means that we're getting through. The key is not the technology itself. It is the tool. It is the technique you bring to the technology or the tool. All right. So y'all keep that in mind as you're thinking about what it is you're trying to do. Let me see what else we got in here. We got any other questions in here? Again, Thomas Staples is putting great information in there. Let's see. Hey, who's that? Andrea Lee. God bless you. Y'all were in Chicago. I'm not sure if you're still in Chicago or not, but thanks for joining. Make sure y'all share this with somebody. Let me see. Let's see. Offset the field light, opposite the key light. Yep. And approximately half the light, whatever. And y'all still calling me, and I want y'all to put the messages in the text box. I guess some of y'all just want a personal. Y'all just want to talk to me personally. God bless you. It's all good. It's all good. It really is. It really is all good. All right. So now, y'all know I can talk about this stuff all day, so I'm going to keep it moving. Now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this cell phone thing. All right. some of y'all know this is my pet. I'm about to tell y'all my pet peeve. Some of y'all have actually watched the video on this and you know what I'm about to say. Okay, you know what I'm about to say. One of the easiest tools that you can use if you want to get started, whether that is with a webinar, whether it is with your Zooms, and you just want to look better, one of the easiest tools you can use, and I believe I got some witnesses out there, is your cell phone. Okay, now this is a iPhone 13 or something like that with 1 terabyte and all that. Yeah, I go all the way, right? That's what this is, and I'm not mad at this, but you don't even have to have this in order to look halfway decent. I mean, these cameras are coming out, and Thomas Staples, go ahead and throw some of the specs of some of these phones in. They're coming in with shooting 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second. They're shooting full HD, 4K, all that kind of crazy stuff, which I think is awesome. But you don't even need all of that in order to pull your cell phone out of your pocket and look good doing your live streams, your webinars, your classes, your Bible studies, whatever you need to do. But I will say, once again, make sure you're using the right technique with your technology. Well, the first thing I'm going to say is that at least make sure you turn your phone horizontal and not this way. Now, I'm not against those who have taken a bite out of the Instagram playbook and you think everything should be this way because most people are using mobile nowadays. But you shortchange yourself if everything you shoot is vertical like this, okay? You shortchange yourself. Here's why. Because you can still achieve vertical when you shoot horizontal. Here's why. Because as long as you take your power shot, here's your power shot, right? Somebody put this in the chat. Your power shot is what we call screen center. Let me make sure I'm in center, all right? Here's screen center. As long as you are screen center, if I decide to play this video vertically, I'm still going to be in the middle of the screen. If I decide to turn it horizontally, I'm still in the middle of the screen, okay? So make sure that when you're shooting, you shoot for, and I don't know about you, but I don't walk into too many people's homes and see their TVs vertical. I still see their televisions horizontal. Are y'all feeling what I'm saying? So if you ever think that your videos, your webinars, your Google Meets, your recordings, your Bible studies, whatever that you're doing, if you ever think that they might end up on a television screen, if that's an option, make sure you shoot in a way that maximizes of the horizontal landscape, okay? All right? The horizontal landscape. So, but the difference is just make sure that when you do go vertical, when you do go horizontal, my fault, make sure you are screen center. Okay? You can't be over here because what's going to happen, you're going to get chopped off. You can't be over here, you'll get chopped off. But if you're screen center, no matter what happens, whether you are vertical or horizontal, you will be in the middle of the screen. Now, here's the other thing. And again, y'all probably seen me say this before, and I'm going to say it again. This drives me nuts. Technique. Make sure that if you're going to pull your cell phone out and use your cell phone as your device, that you at least take something, and please wipe off your camera. Oh my God, did I say something? Y'all can put that in the chat all day long. Y'all can tweet that out because I have so many people that think that face grease that's on their phone is an Instagram filter. And I'm trying to help y'all. It is not an Instagram filter. That haze that's on your camera most of the time is face grease, okay? Wipe off your camera. Clean off the lens. Clean it off on the front and the back to make sure that your video looks as good as it can look. That face grease ain't no doggone filter. It's face grease. Wipe off your lens, okay? Let me see, what else we got? Somebody said, yes. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, y'all got to cut that out. Cut that out. All right, any more questions? I'm looking. I don't see any other questions because y'all know I can keep going. Most smartphones post 2018 have adequate cameras to pass sufficient quality video for streaming purposes. Yes, Thomas, he put that in there. That is awesome. Melanie McGuire, God bless you. It's good to see you on today. And she's doing a wonderful job utilizing technology to better cement her brand and better give people an opportunity to understand not only who she is, but also understand what she's about, her subject matter expertise. She's doing a wonderful job. If anybody has any questions about that, throw that into the chat, because we have an awesome person in the chat in the form or the face of Melody McGuire. It's good to have you on. Now, let's talk about some other things when it comes to technique. Again, I could talk about this all day long. Let's talk about let's talk about audio. I'm sorry. Let's talk about audio. Now, I better hold on to this because y'all are still talking to me. All right, I see a question come. Okay, well, let me go to the question. I'm here for y'all, so it ain't about me. So let me go to the question. How can you have your logo in the upright corner of the video like yours? Okay, that's not a loaded question, but when you ask me, I'm gonna give it all to you. Okay, now, if you wanted to, let me see if I can. I want to kind of illustrate this. If you want to have your video, let's turn all this off. Y'all watch this now. Watch what I'm doing. Okay, watch what I'm doing. Now, right now, you're probably watching my video. You're probably watching the video, and there's probably nothing on the screen, I would think. Y'all tell me if I'm right or wrong. I don't know. There's probably nothing on the screen in my chat. There we go. So y'all tell me if there's nothing on the screen. All right, let me know. I'm watching the stream right now. I'm watching my thing. There shouldn't be anything on the screen now. There shouldn't be anything on the screen. So let me just assume that there's nothing. It looks like nothing's on the screen. You are clear. Thank you. Now, if you're using a cell phone, this is what you're going to get. If you're using just a basic camera, a webcam connected to a computer, this is what you're going to get. Okay? If you're doing a Zoom meeting, 9 times out of 10, this is what you're going to get. As soon as you decide you want to add something to the screen, you have to then add some sort of technology into the mix in order to add that to the screen. I use at least 2 or 3 different technologies. The first one that is making this happen, all right, watch this. The first one that is doing this and is doing this, y'all see that? It's called Restream.io. All right, that's the first one. I also use another piece of technology called Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live achieves the very same thing that what you're seeing on the screen achieves, which is the logo. What you see at the bottom, let's see. It's called a lower third, okay? A lower third. Now I can change this lower third to something else. Bing. See that? Change to a lower third like that. I can now also come over to my chat and I can say, boom, right? And I can put your question right up on the screen so that people can see what other people are asking. Making sense? But in order to do that, you have to add technology into the mix. Now I said I use Restream. I told you I also use Ecamm Live, but those are not the only tools that you can use. Write this down or put this in the chat. You can also use vMix. That's another piece of technology that typically runs primarily on Windows-based machines. Ecamm works primarily on Apple computers, okay? There's other tools that you can use like StreamYard. That's another tool that is available to you that does something very similar. And there are others. I mean, I think Loop TV or Loopy TV or Luma TV, that exists. There's tons of them out there. But now let me tell you something. And again, I don't know how to not kind of address things holistically. The technologies that I just mentioned to you come in 2 flavors. Let the church say 2 flavors. Hello. 2 flavors, okay? Those flavors are browser-based and computer-based. Browser-based and computer-based. Now, I can guarantee you that Thomas Staples, my resident expert, will probably disagree with me. There's probably some other out there. But in terms of those who are just getting started with their virtual whatever, meetings, webinars, Bible studies, sermons, whatever they're doing, if you're just getting started, browser-based and computer-based, you need to know the difference between the two. Here's why. Because a lot of people are they have, let's just say it like this. There are some people that don't have the budget to go out and buy a $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 computer in order to do better live stream. They just don't have the budget, okay? If that's the case, and if that's you, your best option for your live stream software is going to be a browser-based software. In other words, the technology in order to provide the live stream is being run from Chrome, Safari, Firefox, you name it. All right, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be running from a Microsoft product. But again, I'll let my resident expert speak to that. He might know something that I don't know. But typically, Microsoft products are a little difficult to work with when it comes to, really cutting-edge technology. Sometimes they don't keep up. Nevertheless, if you got Chrome, if you got Safari, if you've got Firefox, then you ought to be able to use browser-based technology in order to do your streams. What are those? Those are the two I mentioned, called Restream.io, and that is also, hold on, let me decline this. People trying to talk to me. Restream.io, and then also the technology called StreamYard. Those are two that are browser-based. All right. Now, if you do have sufficient hardware, then you can use computer-based software, and that would be like Ecamm Live or vMix. There's others out there. They're not the only one, but those are two that are inexpensive. You can get into it, and by that, you are able to add the things. Let me see. Right, to add the things like graphics like that and lower thirds like that. You can do that by adding the technology. So I hope I answered your question. All right. Thomas Staples is suggesting, it's a good suggestion, that he is recommending the browser-based product for beginners. Yeah, let the cloud do the heavy lifting, and that's what the browser-based does for you. It allows your computer's software to do the heavy lifting and not your computer's hardware. That's primarily all that's about, okay? Now, I'm going to, it looks like I've got some phone calls coming in, so I'm gonna have to cut this one short. I've gone 37 minutes and 11 seconds, so I've answered a few questions. So make sure that if you need anything else from Pastor G, what I want you to do is I want you to go to my Gert Enterprises Facebook page, follow it, like it. You can find me on LinkedIn. This video is on LinkedIn going live right now. You can catch me on YouTube. Gert Enterprises right there. Y'all can go to my website, gertenterprises.com. There's a forum. You can ask me a question. I have videos right there with our Media Mentor Academy that's all designed to help you get up and running with your live stream and to make sure you're doing the best job you can to look as good as you possibly can during your live stream. We don't want people looking up your nose, and we don't want you in the dark, and we don't want you looking grainy, and we don't want people to be able to see you and not hear you, or hear you and not see you. That's what we're here for. And I don't know what else to say. I know that we're feeling like this pandemic is over. We're walking around without our masks on and whatnot. But I'm trying to tell you, the pandemic has shifted everything, and we will not go back to the way things were. So, again, it's not just about your technology, it's also about your technique. And I believe you can do it. I believe we can help. All you got to do is ask. I'm Pastor G. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. God bless. I'll be home soon. Bye-bye. Y'all take it easy. Peace. To answer that last question just came in, vMix and Restream do not go together. vMix and Restream you can use together. You can take vMix and run it into Restream. Got it? And you can set up that Restream account for free. I just said something. Man, see? God bless you. I'm gone. See? Oh, I love it. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Peace, y'all.